Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about few more medical terminology related prefixes that is used to denote something as physical property or shape. Okay, so whenever you want to showcase something as physical property or you want to denote the physical property or shape, then in that case you can utilize these prefixes. Okay, so those who are directly referring this session without following the sequence, for them, like I just quickly brief them about the meaning of prefix. So what is prefix? Prefix is some word or you can say some terminology that attaches before the actual terminology at the initial. Okay, and that denotes some physical property or shapes. Okay, so this is all about the prefixes, medical terminology prefixes. Now I'll show you uh, the terminology as well as the meaning. Like firstly, I will. So first of all, I'll show you the prefix with their meaning, and then I'll show you some example. You can see here I have noted down couple of examples, so that will help you to identify the actual meaning of the prefix. Okay, so let's start with the first prefix, which is Kypho. Now, what is Kypho? Kypho is something which is used to denote something as hummed structure. Okay, so whenever we want to denote something as hummed structure, then in that case we will utilize the prefix Kypho. Now look at the first example. The first example is kyphoplasty. What is the meaning of kyphoplasty? A surgical procedure to treat compression fracture of spine by injecting a bone cement into the fractured vertebra. Okay, so this is known as kyphoplasty. So again you can see this is a fracture. We are discussing regarding the surgical procedure to treat the compression fracture that somehow caused a humped structure in the spine. Okay, so in this treatment, like spine we treat the spine by injecting a bone cement into the fractured vertebra. So this is all about the kyphoplasty. The next example is kyphoectomy. Now, what is kyphoectomy? It is a surgical removal of a portion of the spine to correct the excessive kyphosis. So, kyphosis, you can say, a outward curvature of the spine resulting in a hunched or humped rounded back. Okay, so this is called as kyphosis. So, in if we talk about the kyphoectomy, then it is nothing but a surgical removal of a portion of a spine to correct the excessive kyphosis. So if someone is suffering from the kyphosis treatment, kyphosis disease, then a kyphoectomy surgical is used in order to remove the kyphosis from the body. Okay, the next example we have is kyphoscoliosis. Now, what is kyphoscoliosis? A condition characterized by both kyphosis and scoliosis. So, when both characteristics are used for a condition which is kyphosis or scoliosis, then you can see involving abnormal curvature of the spine. So, again, we are using the prefix kypho, which is used to showcase something as humped. Okay, so again we are talking about kyphosis, that's why it is showing the humped structure. Now if you look at the last example, which is kyphosis, it is mainly used uh, to denote something as excessive outward curvature of the spine. So when we want to denote something as excess curvature of the spine, then in that case we will use the term kyphosis. You have already covered, we have already covered this, right? Here you can see kyphosis is used, which is for surgical removal of the kyphosis area, right? So here is the actual definition. The kyphosis means excessive outward curvature of spine resulting in a hunched or rounded back. So these are the all example related to kypho, which makes the sound of hummed. Then we have another example, which is rhabdo. Now what is rhabdo? Rhabdo is something. Rhabdo is a prefix that is used to showcase something as rod-shaped structure. Okay, in previous prefix we use the terminology kypho, which is for which is used to denote the humped structure, and now we are using the rhabdo prefix, which is used to showcase something as rod shaped structure or straighted. Okay, so let's look at the all example here. First example is rhabdovirus. Now what is rhabdovirus? A type of virus characterized by a rod shaped particle, okay, including the rabies virus. So again you can see this virus is characterized by the rod shaped particles. To show that rod shaped particle, we are using the prefix rhabdo, and the complete terminology is rhabdovirus, and the prefix is rhabdo. Then we have rhabdoid. Now what is rhabdoid? Rhabdoid is something related to resembling a rod or rod shaped structure. So when we are resembling something resembling a rod or rod shaped structure, then the terminology we will use as rhabdoid, which is composed with the prefix rhabdo. Okay. Similarly, the third example is for rhabdospasm. Now what is rhabdospasm? Involuntary contraction of rod shaped muscle fiber. Okay, so when we want to showcase a contraction of rod shaped muscle fibers, then we will use the terminology rhabdospasm, which is composed of the prefix rhabdo. Then at last we have another example for rhabdo, which is rhabdotome. Now what is rhabdotome? Rhabdotome is an instrument used for cutting rod shaped structure. Okay, so let's say for some treatment, we are going to cut the rod shaped structure for any kind of ectomy, then in that case we will use the instrument which is rhabdotome, which is nothing but a instrument used for cutting rod shaped structures. Okay, so these are the example which we used in terms of rhabdo prefix. So far we have discussed two prefixes. First is Kypho, which is used to denote something as humped. Then we have rhabdo, which is used to denote something as rod shaped or straighted. Okay. Now the last prefix is photo. Now what is photo? It is you can say most common prefix, because since our initial education we heard about the terms like photosynthesis, right? So for that reason also, like we use in the same purpose for denoting something as light. The first example is photophobia. Now, what is photophobia? Photophobia is a sensitivity to light, often resulting in the discomfort or pain. So yes, there are some patients who are quite sensitive towards the light, and they also feel discomfort or pain when they are directly exposure to the light. So in this case, this situation or this medical situation is known as photophobia. Photo means light and phobia means a fear of something, a discomfort of pain or pain. Okay. Likewise, we have another terminology which is phototherapy. Now, what is phototherapy? Phototherapy is a treatment using light, often used for condition like jaundice or certain skin disorder. Okay, so to treat the disease like jaundice or skin disorder, we use the terminology phototherapy, where the treatment is performed with the help of light. That's why we are saying it as phototherapy. Photo means light and therapy means treatment. Likewise, we have another example which is photodermatitis. Now, what is photodermatitis? It is inflammation of skin caused by exposure to sunlight. So, for some patient, skin is the inflammation occurred for by inflammation of skin caused occurred by the exposure to the sunlight. So this thing we will denote with the help of the photodermatitis. Then we have phototoxicity. Now what is phototoxicity? Adverse reactions of skin to light exposure. Okay. Now this is again something related to the patient who is facing photophobia or any disease related to photo. So in that case, adverse reaction of skin to light exposure, often associated with the certain medication. So this is also related to photophobia somewhere. Okay, so yeah, these are the some prefixes which I would like to share with you in this session, which is Kypho, Rhabdo, and Photo. And for today, like this is the question: what information is provided by the prefix lect and cyro? So this thing we have already covered in our one of our previous session. So you can simply refer that session if you are not aware of the meaning of these questions. But if you know the question, then I recommend you to put the answer in the chat section or comment section so that others can take a reference from it. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.